Common thinking is you can't win in the NFL without an elite quarterback. But when the Washington football team came into this offseason, we knew that they had some good pieces in place. I just didn't know if they were going to be able to get a quality quarterback, a Pro Bowl quality quarterback. And they ended up signing Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay, Taylor Heineke is filling in now because Fitzpatrick got hurt in week 1, and Washington eked out the win last night. They overcame a late interception that he had. He led them to the game-winning field goal drive. And Heineke might not look like much. He's listed at 6'1". He's out of Old Dominion. He's not afraid, I'll say that. But, remember, this is a franchise that won a Super Bowl, a couple of Super Bowls with Mark Rippon, not exactly a Hall of Famer. It's a bit of a lofty goal, but at least Washington fans have reason to be excited that Heineken can provide some stability there to complement an otherwise talented roster. It's one of those games. It's a game within a game. We saw this on Monday night with the Ravens and Raiders. It's like, I think I know what's going to happen. And then something else happens. And then you think you know what's going to happen, and then something else happens. Because if I'm Washington, I'm going, whew. If I'm the Giants, I'm like, we're in trouble. You got to capitalize. You can't kick field goals in the NFL and try to survive. You just can't. We saw that with the Patriots against the Dolphins. You can move the ball up and down the field. If you're not scoring touchdowns, you're going to let that other team stay in. And then you had the game-winning kick where you had offsides. Here is Joe Judge, the Giants head coach.
I'm not going to put this on Dex, and I don't want to put this on Dex. Okay, Deck's a good player. He's a strong piece of our locker room. He's a good teammate. He's fun to coach. He's productive for us as a player. I'm not going to put this on Dexter Lawrence, okay? There's things we all have to do better as professionals, all right, but I'm not going to put this on any one player or one situation.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you can put blame on a lot of people, but you have a simple job. When you're over the center on a field goal, you see the ball. It's right in front of you. It's mind-blowing that you're offsides in a situation like that. Like, do you really think you're going to block that field goal? And you see the ball snapped in front of you. If you're, a defensive lineman, you may react off the offensive lineman. You see the ball right in front of you. But jumped off sides, got another chance, and ended up winning. Here is Ron Rivera talking about his quarterback before the last drive.
Specific to Taylor, what was your message to him there on that last 2-minute drill?
Don't screw it up. No, it was all we had to do was get in the field goal position. We felt we had a good shot at it, and we got that opportunity.
That's Ron Rivera. This program brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can upgrade to a Dollar Shave Club 6-blade razor for a noticeably smooth shave thanks to their 6 precision-cut stainless steel blades. You can shop in-store at Dollar Shave Club. DollarShaveClub.com, by the way. We'll come up with a poll question. By the way, I got a stat of the day, Seton. And if you want to fire up any kind of music. Since 2018, the New York Football Giants have blown 10 fourth-quarter leads and lost. That's tied with the Detroit Lions for the most in the NFL. You don't want to share any records with the Detroit Lions. That's your stat of the day. Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Here comes the stat of the day! All right, McLovin, what's the poll question today?
Who has you more excited after last night? Daniel Jones or Taylor Heineke?
Daniel Jones has talent. He's an athletic quarterback. He can beat you with his arm and his leg. And he could have easily won that game. You had the holding call, or he would have had another touchdown. They have some wide receivers. They went out and got wide receivers. They drafted a wide receiver. You got Saquon Barkley, and I'm not sure what that means right now. Ingram didn't play. I always think that he's going to be something, and he's probably not going to be as good as what people thought he was going to be. You brought in Galladay. He didn't do anything last night. But you start to look at this team, and McLovin, if you bring up the Giants' schedule here, like they're in trouble. do you pick up Daniel Jones as fourth-year option? Do you re-sign Saquon Barkley? I know it's only 2 games, but if you start to look at their schedule, I mean, they got the Kansas City Chiefs coming up. They got the Cowboys coming up. You got that?
Yeah, so they host Atlanta next week. Then they go to New Orleans, to Dallas, host the Rams, host the Panthers, then at Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oof. They got the Bucs in week 11 after a bye at Tampa Bay.
I mean, you wouldn't think at the beginning of the season, hey, this is going to be a 5-12 team, because they might be worse. Who knows? I mean, that's not a great division, but we saw Philadelphia might be a little better than we thought. Washington is going to be there, I think, just because they got a great coach and the defense is good. Although that defense wasn't great last night, because you don't think of the Giants' offense as explosive, but they did hold them in check when it comes to kicking field goals. So Drew Brees will join us coming up, and then Ken Burns, the documentary filmmaker on the Muhammad Ali documentary. Yes, Paulie?
Is Saquon Barkley not a great running back, or is he not used properly, or other?
I don't know how healthy he is. And you're going to limit his touches because he's coming back from knee surgery. We liken him to Barry Sanders. He's not the home run hitter that Barry Sanders was. Like, he had 8 carries and 41 yards, but he had 1 carry for 41 yards. So the rest of them were 0. Barry Sanders might give you +1, +1, -2, 62 yards, those kind of things. And I still think Barry Sanders wasn't used correctly in Detroit, but that's a story for another day. Saquon is not that kind of player. No, nobody's like Barry Sanders. But I just think he started out great. I want to use him out of the backfield. I don't know if I wouldn't re-sign him. I don't want to re-sign a running back. But you might look at this and go, God, we drafted him so high. And he's got charisma. He looks good on camera. He's got star power. It's just I don't want to tie up that kind of money. Yeah, McLovin.
As an ACL survivor, he's 1 year off ACL as a running back. That's got to be. I mean, he played 2 games in 4 days, like I said. That.
Wait, did you lump yourself in as an ACL survivor?
No, I was actually asking you as an ACL survivor. There's no way he can be like the same explosive guy.
We don't have a therapy group for ACL survivors.
Yeah, I've actually, knock on wood, never had an ACL, but you've had like 11, so I figured.
They finally put something in this last time. They gave me a new knee. They kept taking things out. I'm like, that's not good.
Actually, did you even have an ACL for a period of your life? I feel like you were just...
I don't know. I know I had a meniscus tear for about 7 years. It was like, all right, we'll just somehow survive. But yeah, I don't know what the Giants are going to do. Dave Gettleman, their GM, is he going to survive? Probably not. It feels like they like Joe Judge. I mean, he's the rah-rah guy. Maybe he is the right guy. To be fair to him, he's just starting his career. But you start to look at the Giants and, they're going to have a few losses here. They might have double-digit losses this year. Yeah, Paulie.
And it seems like every team's direction is based on this quarterback cap situation. Let's say the Giants are, 6-11? That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But let's say Daniel Jones has a nice season and shows promise. They're still in a position where they either have to give him a whole bunch of money or cut him, the old Trubisky thing or the Mariota thing. There is no middle room anymore.
I know. Well, that's because these agents and general managers have made it that way, that Daniel Jones is going to come up and everybody's going to go, you're going to pay him $40 million? I got to give you, how about 20? How about 25? But there's no middle ground, and as a result, then you might have Daniel Jones have to kind of hit the reset button with another team. Yes, Eden.
That kind of sounds like the worst case scenario for the Giants. That Daniel Jones plays well, but they go 6-11. Because then you're like, oh, damn, now are we going to pay this kid or are we going to let him go? What are we doing?
Well, the Jets did this with Sam Darnold. It's like even if you play well or he plays well, then what are we going to do? And, then it depends on where you're going to be in the draft. Because if the Jets had the 7th pick, would they still have jettisoned Sam Darnold? I don't know. Yeah, McLovin.
That's a great question. But new GM don't they want their own quarterback?
Yeah.
That's what happened with the Jets. But,
yeah,
they only came in with a 7-win total this year. They were towards the bottom. I don't know what expectations are.
I guess we overinflate them because they're the Giants, and somehow because they get more attention. The New York media, that all of a sudden you assume that they're going to be challenging for that divisional title, and maybe they do. I just look at the schedule, and that's going to be pretty tough sledding.